Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for requesting this private session that Katie and I are going to do so that you can try out emotional freedom techniques. And Katie's a total newbie to this too, which lights me up. I love it when people have never done this before because it's like, ooh, what are we going to do? So, Katie, what I like to do is think of a topic. Emotional freedom techniques is a combination of ancient Chinese wisdom and modern psychology. And we actually do tap on parts of our body while we're expressing the issue that's going on. So, is there something that's going on in your life today or in general, or something that you think would really connect with both you and your audience that would be like a topic to work on?
I think I'm pushing through a barrier right now.
Okay.
It's a big pivot. It's kind of going against the grain um, of 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 the wave of the rest of the people. It's kind of stepping outside of that a little bit, and
Okay.
it's
And what does doing that bring up for you? Like, what's the feeling that that creates?
there's anxiety, there is some fear, there's some excitement,
Okay.
um, there's the nervousness. Is it going to be okay? Like, is it going to work? Those kinds of things are coming up.
Okay. Are you able to share anything more specific than that, or is it kind of like a vague thing to share?
Um, at this moment, it's kind of vague, but
Okay,
it
that's
a
all
lot
right.
of it is like I feel like a backlash. Is there going to be a lot of backlash? Is there going to be a lot of anger? Is there going to be a lot of um like, is my credibility going to go away? Am I going to lose trust? Like those kinds of things. But also, am I standing out in courage? Are they going to view it as courageous? Are they going to view it as, wow, she had the courage to do this?
So there's some worry, there's some anxiety, there's some
Mm.
nervousness. Where do you feel it in your body?
Ooh, I feel like a lot of it sits either in my head and in my heart is where they go.
Are you worried about people pleasing or letting people down or disappointing people?
I think for me, I always have this thing about me of like I always want to make sure I'm doing enough for people. I always try to, like, what else can I do for you? So it's not like I don't necessarily need someone's approval of me, but it's I want to make sure that I'm adding enough value and that I am I giving enough? Have I not done enough for you? Like that kind of thing. So I don't know if that makes sense. Um,
How would you feel if all of this goes really well, or how would you feel?
Fantastic, elated, lifted, excited, a breath of relief, a sigh of joy. I would feel I would feel happy because I know what it's going to do to help other people, um, for them. And I think it like it just like a gateway open, just yeah,
Okay,
great.
cool. So what we do first is we like to rate the anxiety or the worry that you're having. So 0 is none, 10 is a whole bunch of it. Where do you feel like you are on that scale before we start?
I probably would say I think I was at like a 10 a little bit, but I think it's come down probably to like a 7 or an 8 as I've
Perfect.
progressed a little bit.
All right. So I'm just writing down that starting point.
Okay.
Sometimes we discount progress that we make and we act like, oh, it wasn't that bad before if we don't actually like keep track of how we're feeling in the
Mhm.
moment. A lot
Yeah.
can change in a few minutes. So I'm going to be tapping on some points. I'm just going to have you follow along with me. I'm going to
Okay.
tap, I'm going to say something, you're going to say it back.
Okay.
Pretty much easy as pie. And
Sounds
then we're
great.
going to reevaluate when we're done.
Okay.
So I want you to start by taking a nice deep breath. This is the karate chop point on the side of the hand. Doesn't matter
Okay.
if you would do one or the other.
Okay.
It's a nice deep inhale. Even though I have all this anxiety,
Even though I have all this anxiety,
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
Even though there's a lot of nervousness,
Even though there's a lot of nervousness,
I feel like I might be going against the grain.
I feel like I might be going against the grain.
I'm open to the idea that it'll work out for the highest good of all.
I'm open to the idea that it'll work out for the highest good of all.
And even though I'm worried,
And even though I'm worried,
I don't know how people will perceive this change.
I don't know how people will perceive this change.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Now we're going to start working through some of the other points here. All of this worry and anxiety,
All of this worry and anxiety,
this nervousness,
this nervousness,
I feel it in my head and my heart.
I feel it in my head and my heart.
Is this going to work?
Is this going to work?
I think I'm going against the grain.
I think I'm going against the grain.
I'm worried about my credibility.
I'm worried about my credibility.
I'm worried about the trust that people put in me.
I'm worried about the trust that people put in me.
But I really want to do this, and I feel like it's courageous.
But I really want to do this, and I feel like it's courageous.
Just want to make sure I'm doing enough.
I just want to make sure I'm doing enough.
What else can I do?
What else can I do?
All of this anxiousness.
All this anxiousness.
Because there's so much uncertainty right now.
Because there's so much uncertainty right now.
I don't know how this is going to work out.
I don't know how this is going to work out.
It could go really well.
It could go really well.
And I do have a lot of belief that this would really help people.
And I do have a lot of belief that this would really help people.
But it also might flop.
But it also might flop.
And I don't want that to happen.
And I don't want that to happen.
I feel really invested in making this change possible.
I feel really invested in making this change possible.
So I'm anxious and worried when I think it might not work.
So I'm anxious and worried when I think it might not work.
Clearing this anxiousness and nervousness down to a cellular level.
Clearing this anxiousness and nervousness down to a cellular level.
And opening up to the idea that what I desire is possible.
And opening up to the idea that what I desire is possible.
In just a matter of time, I'll know if it's happened.
In just a matter of time, I'll know if it's happened.
And I'm excited to feel that joy and elation.
And I'm excited to feel that joy and elation.
And to know that I've given this my best shot.
And to know that I've given this my best shot.
I already know that I'm doing the best I know how to do.
I already know I'm doing the best that I know how to do.
So I'm just meeting myself where I am.
So I'm just meeting myself where I am.
And allowing this anxiety and nervousness to dissolve.
And allowing this nervousness and anxiety to dissolve.
I am whole, complete, and powerful.
I am whole, complete, and powerful.
All right, Katie, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And tell me what that was like for you as a first-time tapper.
It was good. It feels good. It feels like it's almost like these little micro disruptions, kind of like in what I'm in breaking those, like a pattern. And it has I feel an energy. Like I feel like a little bit.
Well, we just lowered
lighter.
your cortisol by up to perhaps 43% in that short
Like I feel lighter. I don't feel as like stressed about it. I mean, there's probably a little bit of it still there, but it's almost just like this relief, I guess, that yes, it's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out, and it's going to be good. Yeah.
Awesome. What would you rate yourself on that scale of 0 to 10 right now when you think about that particular thing that's challenging you?
I'd almost say like a 2, 2 to a 3. Yeah, it feels really good.
Beautiful. I know we didn't have a whole lot of time to get into the science behind this, but there's plenty of other shows within this resource where people can, listen and understand how and why EFT works so well, what it does, and what's happening in your body scientifically during that time, because it really does create a lasting change that goes down to like a genetic level.
I love it. This is great, you guys. I know this is not my podcast, but definitely like do this. It does. If you just feel really good.
Yeah. And when I work with people, I combine this with hypnotherapy. So we rewire in multiple ways. So that's just a little bitty taste, but thank you. And thank you for listening to those of you who are playing this recording. For any of you who tapped along with us on something that you were feeling anxious or nervous about, I always love to hear from people. Shoot me an email, Theresa@theresalearlevine.com. Do you want to give an email, Katie? Do you want to hear from people if they want to share?
Yeah, I would love that. You can reach me at, let's go with, you have so many emails. It's like, oh my goodness. Let's go with Katie@thegritandgracelife.com.
Perfect.
You can find me. Yeah.
Awesome.
This was fantastic. Thank you so much, Theresa. I enjoyed this wholeheartedly.
You are most welcome, Katie. And thank you all for listening. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Thanks.